Are we recording? We're recording. Okay. Hi guys, good afternoon. How are you today? So we're going to talk about loving what you do and how art should feel easy. So if you're an artist and art making feels really hard for you, I'm just here to say that you're doing something wrong, but it's okay because it's probably easy to figure out. So people always say, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And I feel like that is true. And there are certain things that you can trick yourself into to make it feel like that's not true for you, but it can absolutely be true. So your job is like love, love should be easy. And here's a lesson that I learned. I'm going to talk about my ex really quick. There's this guy I dated, and he taught me a lesson. So I remember one day we were on a date and we started arguing about something. It was like something not very important. I don't remember what it was now, but I started to say, like, why is this so hard? Like, why do I have to put in so much effort all the time? And he said, it's okay. Love is supposed to be hard. Like, this is okay that we're arguing right now about fucking everything. Love is supposed to be hard. And I said, no. I was like, that does not compute. I was like, love is not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be easy. It should feel effortless. I should enjoy every second with you. Maybe not every second, but it shouldn't be like this. And it got me thinking, and I realized it was just because when I thought a little deeper about it, the way that he was raised, he came from a divorced family and his parents were always arguing even though they weren't even together anymore, and it was very hard for him. I remember I only dated him for a little while and he kept moving like between his mom's and his dad's, and really wasn't happy with either of them. And to him, like, he grew up where love was hard and it was always hard. And he thought, it was supposed to be like that. And sometimes movies can portray that and everything. But I grew up in a family where my parents loved each other and they were happy with each other. I probably heard them argue like one time in my whole life. And they would give each other kisses before bed. And even though it's not like we had a carefree life, we had financial struggles and, hardships in the family and health issues and stuff. But above all, they always loved each other and were kind to each other, and love just came easily to them. So I knew that even though sometimes love can be hard for other people, it can be easy and it should be easy. And if you want it to be easy, it can totally be that way. So, that was a good lesson that I learned. And when I started my career, I started to think, why should work be any different? I feel like we're taught, hard work will get you somewhere. And if you want to be successful, you have to work hard. You have to do these things, A, B, and C. And, eventually, you'll have the job of your dreams and maybe you can retire. But again, I watched my dad. He is the most hardworking person I know. He works around the clock. Like, he can't sit down. He's a workaholic. And he's not, like, he's, successful in his own right. We had a great upbringing. But he's not where I would like to be when I'm his age. I want to be more successful than that. And he works the hardest I've ever seen in my life. And yet he's not the most successful person I've ever seen in my life. So why is that? Maybe hard work doesn't equal money. Maybe work doesn't have to be hard. So that's when I kind of started thinking about, your passion, your work, your career should be easy, because why not? Why should love be hard? It shouldn't. Why should work be hard? It shouldn't. Right? Something to chew on. This beautiful rainbow mug, I'm going to pause, is from my friend Natalie. She sells like vintage stuff. Her Instagram is Body Electric Vintage, if you want to look. This is a set. There's actually 2 of them. Super cute. I had to get them. They were really calling my name. So anyways, art making is easy for me. So every step of the process of my business is easy. Whether or not it's challenging or there's a learning curve, it feels good. So when I'm painting, I feel like I'm in the flow, like in the zone, what they call it. And, it feels like meditation. It can be quiet. There can be background noise. I love painting. I'm never like super frustrated by painting. Even if I don't like the painting, no biggie. And when I make prints, you know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see it on paper. I'm excited to go to the store and like get them made. And when I market them, it feels easy. It feels like talking to a friend, you know. When I sell them, I celebrate because I made money, and then I just put the money into perpetuating the cycle so I can do it all again because I love it. So it can be easy, and it is easy when it's the right job, you know, when it's the right person, when it's your right career, it is easy. So I'm going to go back to relationships for a second because I feel like love and money are very intertwined, and how you view them really is intertwined. So a lot of people will say, you know, don't make art your job because, you know, when you make work of your passion becomes work. And I think that's really just people being afraid that when they have to do something, they won't like it anymore. But that's not true, because I have to do art, you know, when I do commissions or when I set deadlines for myself, when I make, you know, the calendars had to be a certain deadline. I had to do that, but it still didn't feel shitty. It still was fun. It still was easy, even though I had to. And so one of another different guy I dated, I had said something to him and I meant it as a compliment. And he was so furious afterwards. So what I said was, and I really, really, like, we were in a great mood. I was like, I really meant this in a loving way. And I said, I don't need you. I just want you around. And I thought that was a compliment. He was so mad because I didn't need him. But the truth is I didn't, you know, like, yeah, you know, he supported me emotionally and we did share money and stuff like that. But I could get money somewhere else. I could get emotional support from someone else. Like, I did not need him. I just liked him. I just enjoyed his company. I liked having him around. And your art should be the same way. Your career should be the same way. You know, you don't need to make art your career. You could get a different job. You could get a job somewhere else. You could work literally fucking anywhere else. You could go to college and, you know, get a degree. You could be a doctor. You could work at the fucking grocery store. You could do whatever you want to do. Like, you don't have to make art your job, but you want to. And that means more, but you want to. And even if you don't rely on it, even if, say, art never made me $1 in my life, I would still make it. I would still do it because I don't need it. I just want it. And that is so much more powerful. And honestly, whether or not it brings you money or whether or not it supports you, it doesn't matter. So art does make me money. Art is my career, but that doesn't mean it has to be. I don't need it. I want it. I want it to be what brings me money. I want it to be what I rely on for my bills. So there is really a huge difference, and I want you to look at it that way, because just because you earn money from it and just because it's your job doesn't mean it's going to feel like work. It can be easy and it should be easy. So there's a difference there. So let's talk about what does it mean if it's not easy for you, if it does feel like work for you. That doesn't mean, you know, like in your relationships or your job, that doesn't mean it's the wrong person. It doesn't mean it's, you know, the wrong career, but you are doing something wrong. So in art, I think there are 2 reasons why it would not feel easy for you. One is going to be that you're overcomplicating it in some way. And 2 is that it really actually isn't. It's not right for you. So let's get into overcomplicating it. There's a couple different things I think you could do to overcomplicate something. For one, this is a really big thing, and I think I talked about this in a previous video, and it's making art for the sake of someone else. So making something because you think someone else will like it and not making it for you. So it's easy to get caught up in this if you are selling your work because, you know, you want people to buy it, so you want it to be something that people like. But you can't go too deep into this hole because people like everything, first of all. If you listen to everyone, you'll be pulled in a bunch of different directions, and you'll be making, you know, something for your friend who likes realistic work over here, something for your friend who likes little trinkets over here, and oh, this girl on Instagram is really popular and she makes like, you know, plant art, botanical art, so I'm going to do that. There's a market for everything, so just because you're selling it doesn't mean that you have to depend on like what people like, because people like everything. If you like it, chances are somebody else likes it too. So don't do it to impress someone. Don't do it to impress, you know, your best friend because she says that your artwork sucks and this person's artwork is good and I wish yours looked more like that. First of all, she's not your friend, dump her. Second of all, don't do it to impress other people. Just do what you like, because if you don't like it, then it won't be doing what you love. You know, do what you love and you'll love what you do. If you don't love it, that doesn't apply to you. So just do what you love. Another way you can overcomplicate it is if you're not doing it in your style. And this can be unintentional if you don't know your style. So I remember being very frustrated with my art making when I didn't have a style and I didn't know what my style was and I wasn't particularly looking for one. I would get frustrated sometimes, but not all the time. So I would make something one day and I would really love it and I would be so proud of it and I could easily talk about it, easily market it, easily sell it. I would love to make prints of it. The whole process was fun. And then other things, I would make it and I wouldn't be proud of it and I would make prints and then I would just kind of nitpick every detail about it when it came out and I was looking at it, and I wouldn't feel confident talking about it because I didn't actually truly love it myself. And, you know, most of the time it never really sold, and then I didn't make any money, and then I didn't celebrate it and couldn't perpetuate the cycle. It just kind of sucked. It just sucked because I didn't like it and I wasn't doing it in my style. So when I followed what I do like and what made the process seem easy, then it got easier. And that's part of how I found my style. And if you want to hear more about your style, I think my last video was about finding your style and what it can do for your business. So look that one up. So that can be how you overcomplicate it too. Not doing it what you like and doing something to impress other people, doing it in something that's not your style. And then another way you could overcomplicate it isn't actually related to the art necessarily. It's related to how you go about presenting it or how you go about selling it or marketing it or something like that. So say you do exactly what you love, you know it's in your style, you're super proud of your art, you love the art making process, but then when it comes to talking about it and selling it, that part of the process, that's when you start to feel bad about it. That's when it gets hard. That's when it sucks and, you know, maybe you never sell it and, you know, whatever. That is an issue with how you promote it and how you talk about it, how you present it. So, for instance, the way I talk about my art and promote it and sell it is online. Especially right now, it's 2020, art shows aren't really going on, but I'll talk about that in a second. So online, I post it on social media and I have an online shop. A Cup of Cloudy is my online shop. You can go and buy my prints and my mugs and stuff there. And that's how I present it. I have prints and reproductions only. I don't do originals. And that is what suits me. That is what I like. But if you try to do that with your work and you don't actually like doing that, say for instance, you just fucking hate technology. You hate, you know, listing things in your site. You hate posting on social media. You probably don't even have a Facebook. Like if you're that type of person, you don't want to make online your main way of promoting and selling, because that's going to feel shitty to you. That's not going to be fun for you. That's not going to be your favorite way. So just because, you know, you see all these famous people and they all have, you know, a Etsy account, that doesn't mean you should make one. So, and it's really not the only avenue. I know we're in like the technology age, the digital age, the information age. Okay, but that's not the only path there is. Another path that I really like and I love is art shows. And art shows are in person. I make a lot of money in art shows in a very short amount of time. So this could be you. If you don't like doing it online, You could, which I love tying them both together, by the way. I feel like they are a great match to do together because you meet people in person, then you bring them online. But if you want to just do it in person, you can do that too. If you hate technology, you can just do it, brick and mortar. So pathway for that could be art shows, which are like pop-ups, they're usually for like a weekend, or maybe you'll do like a monthly series or something. But that isn't super steady. But you could also do wholesale. So wholesale is something that I've been looking into as well, especially since art shows aren't really going on, but certain shops, like retail shops, are still open. And with this, basically, you will make something in bulk. So this would have to be like non-original, usually, but not always. Say I just make Christmas cards. So say I make a bunch of cards, like for all the holidays, and I will make them in bulk, and a retail place will buy them at a wholesale price, which is usually, I think, like 50% of retail price, which you have to make sure is still a profit for you. But when they resell it, it will be a profit for them too. That's how that works. That's why people like that. And they'll buy it in bulk. So they'll buy like 50 sets of my cards, right? And then they will sell it for retail price in their store to customers. So you sold, a big bundle of your artwork to this company, and then they go ahead and sell it again to someone else. That can be a way to just do a brick and mortar. You don't need your own gallery. You don't need your own store. You can put your art, especially if you have like a non-exclusive agreement with someone, you can put your art in multiple stores. Like, have you ever gone to Target and seen those cute journals? Yeah, that's someone's artwork that they just hit up Target and was like, hey, would you like to buy my work wholesale? And they said yes. So there are many ways to do it that aren't just online. So if it feels complicated to you at the selling and marketing point, that is the part that you are maybe doing wrong, or you're not doing, in full, people say like alignment with yourself. Like that's not what you actually like. That's not what you actually want to do. And this might take trial and error. Like I've only ever done art shows, like pop-ups, in-person selling online. I've sold like through DM on Instagram, stuff like that. But I've never done wholesale. I've never done licensing, which licensing is like selling your image to a company and then they make products with your image. That's something I probably will never really do. I'm not really interested in doing that. It seems like, I don't know, I might want a lawyer for that. But so it could be the way that you sell it. Maybe you want to create it live. Like I know a lot of artists, especially in the Detroit area, who do live painting, and that helps them stay in their creative flow when they are making their art because someone is watching them. It's for an audience, so they do it all in one run and then they're done, and it only took them an hour to do this beautiful painting because there were no distractions, and that's how they love creating, So maybe it's the method. Maybe it's, so tweak it. Maybe change your medium. Maybe change where you paint. Maybe you want to paint outside in your backyard. Maybe that helps you. Maybe you want to present it online. And maybe you want to make videos of your art. You've never made videos before. Maybe you want to sell them in a store. Hit up your local, mom and pop shop and see if they want to, buy your work wholesale. Maybe you want to do a little art show. So there are so many avenues that can really make it easy for you, and especially when it's your passion, when it's what you are meant to do, this is like your career, like there's no other option for you, then there are ways to make it easier if it doesn't feel easy for you. And you just got to try them out. And just honestly go for it, especially with the wholesale thing. The worst they can do is say no. Like, who cares? Just ask them. And then if you try all the things and you're just not happy with it and you just hate it and you thought that you wanted to be an artist but you really don't, it's okay to give it up. Maybe you're not meant to be an artist. There's this girl, and I forget her name right now. I think it's like Kathy something. And sometimes I listen to her podcast, and she originally wanted to be a singer-songwriter. So that was what she thought her passion was, what she thought her career was going to be in. And she ended up just being a podcaster instead. And for her intro, and she follows up her podcast episodes with like her music, which is a cool way to incorporate it, but it's not, she ended up realizing that she didn't want to be famous. That's not really what she wanted. She didn't really, make it out to be a famous singer. It takes like a certain extroverted type of person. And she realized she didn't, want to be followed around by the paparazzi all the time. That's not something she actually wanted, even though she really thought that. She still loves music. She still makes it, but instead of like singing on stage in front of millions of people, she just, puts it at the end of her podcast episodes, and she still makes great money, and she still talks to creatives and gets to meet beautiful creative people, but she, it's just not exactly what she thought it was going to be. So if you think that you want to be an artist, but then you start to do it and you realize you don't actually want that, that's okay. And if it feels hard consistently forever and nothing you ever try makes it feel easier, that's when it's just not for you. Like for my day job, it's a great company, I could never say anything bad about them, but it's just not my passion. Like when I get up in the morning, it's hard for me to go into work, and I like keep shaving down days to be more and more and more part-time because it's just harder for me to clock in. When I clock in, I'm like waiting, I'm like looking at the clock, I'm like checking, is it time to go? Like, is it lunchtime? And I never feel that way when I'm working on my business. Even if it's something hard, I never feel that way. So it can be easy. It should be easy. And you can make it easy through trial and error. Just figure out what works for you. Yeah, and that's all I really have for you today. So yeah, do what you love what you do. Never work a day in your life. That's the goal, right? I think that's the goal for just about everybody. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in the club. Check your emails. I'm going to be sending you a couple of things later on today. And yeah, happy December. Oh yeah, I posted on my Instagram, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I posted on there about New Year's resolutions. So I always think about my New Year's resolution like way far in advance. Like pretty much as soon as it starts getting cold out, I'm like thinking about the new year and making my goals and stuff. And I put on my Instagram like a little survey sticker like, oh, are you thinking about your New Year's resolutions and what are they? I had some really, really good answers. Holly, who's in here, she said she was going to be opening her shop in 2021, which I'm so excited. I think she's going to rock it. And I got some good ones too about like self-care, like being consistent with self-care, and yeah, some good like spiritual ones. So I like that. I didn't realize I had some spiritual people in my Instagram world, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, so think about your New Year's resolutions. I'm always thinking about mine. I already know mine. I'm like, just have to write it down and make my list solid because I always do more than one. I think honestly they're going to be pretty similar as last year. I didn't actually accomplish a lot of my New Year's resolutions from last year. I did accomplish some of them though, but and then yeah, reflect on which ones you accomplished from 2020, even though 2020 was a little crazy. Which ones did you get done? So I'm going to talk about that in the club too. So I'll see you in there. But I'm going to go. So it's been fun talking to you guys.